welcome to the third episode of This Week at LogTrade. And it's season 2, right? My name is Sarah Ali, and I'm the CEO of LogTrade, and I have with me...
Frederick, the founder of LogTrade. Hi, everyone.
So if you watch the other episode, we usually have an agenda. So it has been China, it has been big tech, it has been media consumption, as Frederick called it, and a special theme every day. This episode, I think we're going to twist it a little bit. First of all, we're going to begin with something that we talked about in the last episode regarding where Jack Ma is, right?
Yeah, that was quite amazing. I didn't recognize that, but you sent me the link. Is it a day or two afterwards that he actually...
I think it was the same day we recorded.
And he suddenly appeared?
Yeah, he did an appearance.
But do we have any Western media confirming this, or could it be an avatar?
We don't know.
We don't know, exactly. We don't know.
He appeared the same day we were speaking about that Jack Ma is still missing or has been missing for 1 year at that time.
So maybe the government in China was thinking like this: either we kill that pod or we bring him into the media.
I don't think they are watching, to be honest.
Oh, so sad to hear.
Anyway.
I was actually planning to learn Mandarin, to have a Mandarin version for next season, you know.
Anyway, he appeared the same time that we published this, or the same day, and it was in an appearance in Hong Kong.
Yeah, okay. Hong Kong again.
Yeah.
Always this Hong Kong. It will be Hong Kong all the way into Taiwan.
So, Frederick, what's happening with LinkedIn?
LinkedIn decided this beginning of this week, I think, or the weekend. I don't even remember the different days anymore. I haven't done for 18 months because of this COVID situation. But anyway, a couple of days ago, I read that LinkedIn is leaving China. And the reason for that is that Microsoft, who is the owner of LinkedIn, you remember that they were actually supposed to be the owner of TikTok. But that was a really messy situation where nothing happened, and TikTok is still owned by China. So now China has asked LinkedIn that they has to accept the new rules of data sharing in China. And the rules of data sharing in China is very, very simple. All the data you have belongs to the Chinese government. So you don't need any filters in how you distribute that data. So if we would have put the Internet of Logistics platform there, or main feature in what to share with who, that would be not necessary in China, because you must share everything to the government, and then they handle the rest.
But
then LinkedIn just said, no way, we can't do that for people's integrity and for the democratic future of the world. I really respect them for this, and they live in China.
And I'm really happy that, well, it has started a while ago, but we're seeing even more and more companies actually saying no to sharing the data with the Chinese government. And I think this is so important.
Yeah, and I think also that you never know who is the government, and China is turning into more and more a dictator structure in some ways, with not changing its highest level of leadership and stuff, and extending it for lifelong extensions and so on. Very, very looking like Russia. That is, of course, simple to understand that maybe you should not share your data with them, especially if you don't have the same ideals or political thoughts as leadership. But even in a country like Sweden, that we think think we are a democratic society, and one of
no,
the...
I would say think we are a democratic.
Okay, yes, okay. We believe we are in a democratic society, but maybe we are in a TV show. I don't know. Anyway, even in a country like Sweden, if we share data to the government, it's actually out of our control who is the government after at least 2 elections.
Yeah.
And you should never forget about that when you are discussing these matters, and especially when you see now what happens in countries near to us like Poland and Hungary, and definitely after yesterday's discussion with EU and Poland, where Poland said that Poland is number one and EU is number second, and we decide what to do in Poland. And this actually led to first time EU threatened with bringing Poland into a situation where they can't vote in EU anymore. This is the first time after the Second World War.
Okay, let's not get too political. We will go into big tech, but before that, I have a question for you. So you have been in the game a little bit longer than me, just a little bit.
It's nature. You know, if you're older, you've been there for a longer time. If you're not dead,
okay,
it's math.
So yeah. you have been there a little bit longer.
A little bit longer, yeah.
I have a question for you. So if you go back, if you look 15 years ago, and you have
2005.
Yeah, and you have been an entrepreneur for at that time also, yeah. When looking at how
it's just half my time.
Yeah, but we're looking where the tech scene would be and how the development would continue, and looking at it today, what would you say that you are most surprised about in how far we have come?
It's one thing you can't. No one can say that they know about this. No one can say that they understood the effect about this, and no one can say that they were ready for this. And it's one thing. Steve Jobs went out on a stage saying that I have a new thing that is 3 different things, and I will put the internet in your pocket. That's a game changer. That's changing people's life for real.
Yeah, but what are the things that you're most surprised?
I'm most surprised about that people trust these devices as they do, so they actually let them control their full life, including their health and training and daily planning, communication with loves and families and work, secrets, patents, my drawings. My new song on Spotify is always on the net in this phone before it's even published, and people don't really had any thoughts about this. They just went into this crazy situation, and I'm really surprised about that. And I think that if we in 2005 would actually have programming as a standard education part of our society, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
And this is probably one of the biggest mistakes we did in at least Europe, or no, all over Europe and the US, the Western world, we can say, is not to educate people in what this is. We just brought them like Angry Birds and some other stuff that they liked. But we didn't tell them this small detail that if you play Angry Bird, we know where you play it, who you are with, what you're saying in the room, and if you are in the bathroom or not.
But the most
that small detail we forgot to tell them.
Yeah, but the most surprising thing that we are still not telling them. We're
the only one taking some responsibility in this right now is actually Apple, and I don't think that. I think we are heading towards a situation very looking like the tobacco industry.
Yeah.
So everybody knows that this is not okay, but it's the most high-valued companies in the world. It's the high profitable companies in the world. Still, everybody knows that this is not okay. And they are right now doing stuff like, here is your day, here is your sleep mode, here you can put things off, you can say to apps not to track you, blah, blah, blah. And do they do this for their own sakes? No, they are preparing themselves for someone to sue them, and then they will be ready to say, no, we prepared everything so people didn't have to be hurt. And it's so
But that moves
Evil.
us.
It's evil. It's
That
evil.
that moves us to our next topic, actually, very naturally. And let's speak about, within the big tech theme, about Facebook, and that Facebook still hasn't actually cleaned the Facebook social media platform from all the hating and posts and people, the usage of the bad usage of Facebook as a platform. For me, that is so bad. That is so crazy that you can't even touch upon it.
If I would say to if I would say to anyone listening or watching this right now, for us to say, if you should do anything in your life right now to change anything to be a little bit better, delete that Facebook.
Yeah.
Stop using that Facebook, leave Instagram, leave WhatsApp. It don't have anything to do with those. If I said Apple is trying out, and they need to be, because they are so high valued today, so they have so much money that the EU could finance EU for 10 years with just a fine to Apple. So they are preparing for that. Anyway, Facebook has nothing good in its soul. It's rotten from the beginning, and it's keeping rotten. 5 years they promised everyone that we will put in AI to make sure that Facebook is not misused for governments and stuff. They haven't done a shit.
They are not owning up to their responsibility, as always, blaming that they are just a platform where people are posting, and but it is not just a platform. It is not that, because of all the problems that happened in the world started out on a Facebook. It is crazy. And still today, not having algorithms ready to clean out the things that can lead to these horrible things in the world. I think they are on a rate of 2 to 5% of that, I read, and that's nothing. That is still nothing. And at
not
the same time,
when you have these resources and you don't even try. 2.5% is probably what their AI have done by mistake without them telling it to do it.
Yeah. And the most surprising thing, or it's not surprising, meanwhile, talking about Facebook and not cleaning up Facebook and not being responsible about the content within Facebook, they launched this news about developing metaverse and renaming to metaverse.
Yeah, that's so weird. No, it's not weird. I know what they're doing. I know what they invested in. But whatever they launch, if that guy is involved, and that company is involved, how amazing it seems, and how you really would like to go there. Don't. This is the digital. I wouldn't say that, but I say it anyway, as usual. It's like being invited to sell your soul to the devil.
And he's wiping all of that.
He's
wiping all of that under the mat by launching this news about metaverse, and even there, he's not taking his responsibility to really answer and own up to what they have done and not done. At the same time, it feels like we have come so far. We know this is wrong. People should also be aware of using Facebook. And in the second, I think, like, the law regulations. I mean, Facebook, how long have we had Facebook?
2006, 2008, most of the people in Swedish joined into 2009. That was the starting point. So we're talking about 13 years. It's not 3 years, it's 13 years. And the EU is trying, EU is trying all the time to get on this big tech, but for Facebook, they haven't done anything. And now Facebook launch, very typical, this guy again, I will employ 10,000 people in EU for this Meta project.
Yeah.
And every politician sitting there saying, well, we will have a great tobacco industry. Yeah, let's bring it.
And we will get people employed, and we will.
Yeah, we will help. Our kids will get employed to have our neighbors' kids to lose their life.
Yeah.
That's a great society, isn't it? I think this is even worse than the Foodora.
It is worse than this.
Yeah,
It is,
yeah, it
with
is. It
no
is.
question it is.
No.
It
But
is one of,
Foodora is not good for the people running around with the packages for us, claiming to have a dinner in 10 minutes. That's not a good situation either. But this is actually worse.
this is really bad, and I don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
how this will end, or if someone will be able to stop this, but it's totally out of control right now.
And at the same time, politicals all over Sweden right now, even in small cities like, what should I mention? Sjöbo. That's a small city. It's smaller than Malmö at least. Is talking about these electrical scooters. Yeah, I see the problem with the electrical scooters, and probably it's election year next year, and if you can solve the electrical scooters, because everybody say at the same time the full society of your city is giving their soul to Zuckerberg. It's not a problem with the scooter; it's a problem with the other stuff. Get on to this. Do something.
Yeah, but the scooter, everyone is annoyed for the scooters to lay around on the
You know
road.
how you win an election. You give free dental care to people. That's how you win an election, and raise the number of parking places close to the places where people want to shop. That's how you win elections.
Okay, let's move to another topic of your own choice.
Yeah, what compare these two. All the cloud service providers in the world is American or China owned. No one is based in Europe. No one is invented in Europe. So what do Europe do then? We put fines on them. Okay? This is exactly the same strategy that Norway and Denmark has done for the car industry. Every country in the world has a car manufacturer. Good or bad, ask the French people. Anyway, they have a car manufacturing plant. Not Denmark, not Norway. So we put high taxes on cars. That's what they've done. So no one in Denmark can buy a decent car for a decent amount of money because they put taxes on it. And now I'm going to quote Elon Musk again, because at the interview I saw that code. He was to comment on the fact that Jeff Bezos has sued him because he was winning the contract with NASA to build a place on moon for refueling when going to Mars. And then Jeff Bezos was actually suing him. And to quote now, and let's put this in regulation, EU doesn't have any of these services that everybody wants. We have them physical. We have them in Staffanstorp, spreading out diesels. We have them in Luleå using our water, and so on and so on. But we don't have them. It's not our ownership. It's US or China. So we put fines on them. And then Elon Musk said, you can't sue yourself to Mars. You actually have to figure out how to get out in orbit. And when starting to think about that and how our political in EU is now working towards this big tech, having the opportunity of having all our data in the cloud and just using the legal structure, not investing in creating an alternative, that makes me worry.
But why do you think it is that way?
We don't have a clue how to do it. Even if we have Spotify that is coming from here, and you can say that it's one of the largest cloud service today used, especially if you counted the number of people doing it, it's almost comparable to Facebook in that matter, or Insta or whatever. Even if we have that one, they put that on AWS or Google Cloud or any of the American, because they have no alternatives. Should we just make cheese and batteries? Or should we really get into the digital world in some way with some infrastructure?
Furniture.
furniture and cheese and batteries. Okay, it's a free future products for the next generation of Europeans, and wine.
Do you think that if there would be developed an alternative, that it would become an alternative?
I would actually.
Or has that train passed?
No, it's not. No. It's always a new train waiting. You know why this comes up? That was on the
Who do
time.
you think? Who do you think?
150 years ago, it was so rare with trains. So when a train left, you said, now the train left. Today, if you're in a subway or something, it's always a new train every 3 seconds. So just get on the new train. So I think that if we should regulate anything, some things we need to regulate. We need to see at this as we have seen the electrical networks, the gas and oil networks we built, the road network, the airline network with all the airlines using state-controlled airports and regulations and rules, and trains. So we must start thinking about, should we have an infrastructure usable by everybody that is in its regulation, secured from people stealing other people's resources, in this case data.
But which country in Europe do you think is most fitted to actually develop the next cloud service?
German.
Do you think so?
You know American have never coming to the moon without the Germans. American has never developed the Manhattan project. This is quite funny. Without the Germans, they killed themselves.
Yeah, but they are good at infrastructure. They are good.
And I'm talking about infrastructure. This is,
yeah, but they are not
a cloud
good.
service is just someone else's hardware.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yes,
Yeah.
but they are not good in that field of infrastructure.
No, but
And I don't think they can. I don't think.
But don't underestimate Germans. SAP.
I don't think they can convert that fast and well.
But I wouldn't put this in. I wouldn't put this in the hands of France. But I would say a combined service for Europe. Maybe the military should be involved here because they're quite good at this. I don't know. This is just a thought. We don't have to go into that because it will end just making me more angry.
I'm thinking of Ireland.
Yeah, but they are.
They already started these hubs.
Okay. Ireland is good. Ireland is good. We have to drag more fixed lines to Ireland then. And the problem with dragging a fixed line on the bottom of the sea is. This is so funny. I heard that yesterday. When you drag a fixed line on the bottom of the sea, the crabs living in the sea, they are approaching this fixed line because it's some kind of electrical magnets that they like about it. And when they are coming close enough, they are stop doing anything. They don't do a shit. They are sitting there. So they don't make more crabs, they don't eat, and they don't do anything. They are just sitting between this fixed line. That's interesting. So maybe they are taking the data. It's like 1984.
I think we should. No. I think we should stop here because that's the whole conclusion of our discussion today.
Yeah, the crabs.
The crabs are taking all the data.
That's why they don't do anything when they are sitting between the fixed lines, because they are taking the data and they are fully filled with processing that.
I hope people listening to this really got the most important thing of this discussion. The crabs are taking the data. That's
interesting.
And you need to listen from the beginning to understand how we ended up in the crabs taking the data.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you were on this week. You have been watching a movie.
Yeah, well, it's
For real, for real.
I went to the cinema for the first time in 2 years now, since the pandemic, and I watched
How was it?
you remembered all the horrible things of watching a movie with a large group of people, someone too tall so you can't see the movie, and someone eating popcorn and sounding, someone playing with their phones, and someone talking, commenting everything in the movie. And you just remember this was never even a good idea from the start, the cinema thing. One positive thing is, of course, in a cinema, the screen is much bigger. So you get more into the movie. You become a little bit more a part of it in comparison of seeing it on TV. But besides from that, there's nothing charming about going back to the cinema, for me at least.
And you went to this, did you went to Svensk Biograf?
Yeah.
You know it's owned by China.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But you don't have an alternative.
Yeah, so I had to go. But
Anyway, I love to go and watch movies. You know, I remember a lot of times I was in movies. I was watching a special movie the night they shot Palme. And that was actually the same movie series that you saw.
Yeah, I saw actually the James Bond movie, the last one, or the last one with this actor, Daniel.
Yeah, it's his last planned Bond movie.
Yeah, so I can actually recommend it. It was good. It was not the best, but it was good.
I don't remember who was playing Bond when they. I don't remember who was playing Bond when they shot Palme at that time, but maybe you can Google it. It was 1986, I think, in February. So we can Google that. It's probably someone really old, since I'm older than you, but we will see. Did you find it?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Google is not always right. Remember that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, thank you for today. Great that you're spending your time listening to us. Take care of the crabs. It's important for the future.
Or your data will be lost.
Have fun, everybody.
Take care, and yeah. Speak next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, next week. Bye-bye.